Sunday schedule for the Pats. A morning send-off rally there at Gillette Stadium. Look at all the fans showing up. We all we need. They love to say that. Then an early afternoon flight to the Bay Area for Super Bowl 60. They were off Saturday. They'll have 4 practices this week at Stanford. And Drake Maye, it's been an historic sophomore season for him. He led the NFL in completion percentage and yards per attempt. Maye won 3 games last year as a starter. He's lost 3 games this year as a starter. He's also thrown 20 more pass touchdowns and has as many picks in 20 games this year as he had in 12 last year. And Drake Maye sits down with Kimberly Martin to discuss the AFC Championship game, looking to build his own name with the Patriots, and the possibility of seeing himself in the Lombardi Trophy.
Hey, it's hard.
I know.
Good God.
Hey, listen to me. Look at me. It's going to be hard, but look, this will be the most rewarding 6.5 minutes of our lives if we can get it done.
When you're mic'd up and you and Josh McDaniels are talking on the sideline and you say, man, this is hard. What was happening in that moment that made you have that thought?
We knew snow was possible, but right after halftime, we ran out of the tunnel, and next thing you know, snow's just hitting you through the face mask. And I think it was just one of those scenarios where just reflecting on it, like, man, it's already tough enough to play, in offense in this league, in the NFL as a quarterback. I think when the conditions and what's at stake and knowing the pressure and just knowing that you're reflecting on, like, man, this is tough and this is what's about.
3rd and 5, 1:57 to go.
Fake by Maye. He's going to run it to the left. He's being chased. Tries to get outside. He does! He's got the first down!
That's how you do that! That's how you do that!
What is the play call? And then what do you think to do in that moment?
I won't share the exact play call.
Okay, that's fair.
Try to keep it in the building, but Coach McDaniels and the guys in the box upstairs saw a chance for me to keep it around the edge, and we said in the headset, hey, Drake, I want you to run the same play, and this time you keep it. I decided, man, should I tell the guys? Should I tell them or not? I remember we had something earlier in the year where I told them that I was doing something and they didn't want to know. So I happened to not tell them this time and decided to keep it.
Coach, you good? Yeah.
Don't worry. I know.
Sir.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
Good. Yes, sir.
Listen, we're just getting started, okay?
You talk about what's at stake, not just as a starting quarterback, but a starting quarterback for this franchise. Is that part of what is hard?
The best thing that I try to do is appreciate what the Dynasty and the Patriots have done in the past and just try to do what we can as a team and what we are now. Trying to build the 2025 Patriots and not worry about the past success, even though we appreciate and respect what they've done in the past. We're trying to make a name for ourselves.
What I find interesting about the conversation around you is people might say, well, if you look at the stat sheet, Drake's not balling out. However, in those moments, you provide game-winning plays, signature moments.
Downfield, and caught for the touchdown, Kayshon Boutte.
Where does that come from, that ability to be calm, to be even-keeled, and yet rise to the occasion when you have to?
I think the biggest thing is just the confidence in myself and the confidence I kind of receive from my teammates. There's no better feeling than being out there in a huddle with guys that believe in myself and believe in each other.
What more do you want? To the Super Bowl, baby! To the Super Bowl!
Kind of grew up in a household with my older brothers where my dad always preached to us, you want the ball in your hands at the end of the game, or you want to be the batter up at plate, with the bases loaded in the last inning.
Takes the step. He stands in quarterback draw. Across the 5. Across the goal line right. Touchdown! That guy right there. Drake Maye.
I think he always, kind of instilled that into our minds, and we've kind of carried that our whole career.
If you are lucky enough to be able to hoist the Lombardi Trophy and you see your face staring back at you, what do you expect that moment to be like? Do you even allow yourself to think about that moment?
It sounds surreal. I think it's one of those moments that you hope happens without you really, thinking about it or dreaming about. It's one of those just kind of, looking back on it, hopefully it's man, that was special.
You don't want to jinx it?
Yeah, try not to jinx it, and you could also speak it into existence, but I'm more the type to not try to jinx it.
Yeah, the biggest jump is his willingness and ability to throw the ball downfield this year. This is not something that's common in the NFL, to be this young player that chucks the ball downfield as well as Drake Maye has. And I think the thing that we saw early on in the season was, one, the connection with some of the receivers, and then two, the crossers that they build into their offense. Stephon Diggs has been such an addition to this football team, this quarterback, as far as, I'm going to get open, you can trust me in those moments. That's earlier in the season. Then we go to that massive upset on the road in Buffalo when late in the game, they have to get an aggressive hole shot. This is that turkey hole, 18 to 22 yards down the sideline. He sees the corner up top having vision on Pop Douglas in the slot. That's an aggressive throw. That's not a second-year quarterback in the NFL type of throw. There's a very small window, but the confidence that this young man displayed this year to make these put the ball in harm's way throws, and probably one of me, if not my favorite throws of the year, was this one against Tampa. He sees man coverage because the motion, safety's in the middle of the field. Tampa's set up to try and stop the run, the play action pass. And I would tell you that the defense in many ways wins this rep. This is good coverage, but Drake sees that the safety stays over the top. That's just an absolutely perfect throw. The ball placement has been elite. And so this isn't a quarterback that has been this RPO, dink and dunk, let's make it easy on him. He's been challenged to make big throws down the field, and he has all year. Obviously, he will need to again to be a Super Bowl champion.
What I take from him speaking with Kimberly Martin is the fact that he's made plays in very important moments down the stretch. Yeah, people are pointing to the statistics and saying that Drake Maye isn't playing out of his mind or playing at this MVP level, but whereas the New England Patriots as a team may have not played these juggernauts of teams, the defenses had been absolutely phenomenal, from Los Angeles to Houston to Denver. And in each of those games, there's a play or plays you can point to Drake Maye or from Drake Maye that say Drake Maye went above and beyond and made plays to win the football game, whether it was his legs against Denver or the throws over the top to Kayshon Boutte against the Houston Texans. Some of those opportunities to read the blitz and put the football right where it needs to be, or the big run against Los Angeles and the throw to Hunter Henry to give you the only touchdown. Drake Maye has truly grown this season, but not just as a football player, as a leader and as a clutch man of the moment. And he'll need that again against the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, I think the thing that really stands out, RC, we just watched the young man play, and on top of everything that you said, and just listening to him in Kimberly's interview, he gets it. He completely gets the gravity of the situation, the weight. I think he's one of those guys that's wired to run towards the challenge, run towards the noise, run towards the extreme of the situation. And he mentioned how he grew up. So I think the wiring of this young man is very special, not only for the position, but the position in New England.
Yeah, he's such a pro's pro. When we had him in the divisional round, he said a great line that was simple, but it was like, don't let the game get out of hand trying to win it too much. He understands that he doesn't need to do too much, which I know that sounds like coach speak at times. It's not.
Sure.
That's key in these big moments. Will be a big deal in the Super Bowl, too.
Yes.
Hey, the Seahawks have wrapped up their work week at the team headquarters to fly to San Jose today, getting in place for Super Bowl 60. Sam Darnold, by the way, listed as limited with his oblique injury in practice yesterday, but Mike McDonald said he's going to play the game. Of course, it's just a matter of doing everything possible to get him as healthy as they can before game time a week away. And what a journey it has been to get to this point for Sam Darnold. His first 6 seasons in the NFL, nothing like the last 2, right? Darnold has more wins, touchdowns, and game-winning drives in the last 2 seasons than the rest of his career combined, despite nearly 20 fewer starts. And you may have forgotten, Sam Darnold's been to a Super Bowl before. He was Brock Purdy's backup with San Francisco. You may have also forgotten that Sam Darnold was already having stints with the Jets, Panthers, and Vikings before this season's magic carpet ride with the Seahawks. Here's Alex Smith with Sam Darnold, who has now definitely erased the bad memories since 2018.
9 seconds left. Stafford looks, fires, ball is caught. Puka Nacua slides out of bounds. No, clock keeps moving.
Going back to last week, last play of the game, What was the first thing you felt in that moment?
It's special, man.
Seahawks win, and the Seahawks are going back to the Super Bowl.
You put in so much work through, from April, we have this dream of going to the Super Bowl, and now living it out. There's all those emotions that come with winning.
You play like nearly flawlessly.
I definitely wouldn't say flawlessly, man.
Pretty close, man.
Rams rush. Sam steps up, throws back inside. Cup makes the catch. Touchdown, Seahawks!
For me, it was just going out there and doing my job.
How about our quarterback?
Has it sunk in at all, man? Like the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. It really is. Like, I'm enjoying this process because it is a 2-week process up to the game, and being able to kind of breathe and let it sink in that, yeah, we're going to the Super Bowl, it's a big deal, but when you enjoy it throughout the couple weeks, I feel like that'll kind of help my mind a little bit, ease my mind a little bit going into the game.
You went to the Super Bowl a few years back, right? Like, have you relied on that experience at all, right? Like,
as a backup as
obviously
well.
Very different, yeah, but has that been helpful?
Yeah, definitely. Even just talking to some of the guys, we were all kind of talking about what we should pack and if we should check a bag, like all these different things that are kind of, the little things that people don't realize we go through or think about. And I was like, nah, guys, like, I think we're good. Like, they'll give us a couple jumpsuits, some track suits to wear while we're there. But, it is going to be a little bit different being a starter.
Darnold throws one towards the goal line, and it's intercepted. Unbelievable.
Your story as a whole at this point is remarkable, man.
The New York Jets select Sam Darnold, quarterback, USC.
20-year-old kid getting drafted, right? Like, huge expectations, traded, benched. Was there like adversity or a stage that was the toughest?
Getting, traded to Carolina, that was a tough one for me. Just being brutally honest, like thinking, top 5 pick, I'm gonna, change the culture, go out there and get control of the AFC East and go win playoff games. Like, that's always the vision, right? So when that doesn't work out, it's like, oh shoot, man, like that sucked. There's a million thoughts that go through your mind, like, oh, am I gonna be a backup for the rest of my career? Thankfully, I got another opportunity in Minnesota to show the world and myself what I could do.
He pumps, fires to the end zone, touchdown!
Your QB class that you come in with, it's like you're forever linked with. You're tight with Josh, I know that, right? Like, you played with Baker. You're the first one going to the Super Bowl, man. Like, how does that feel? Just understanding how, scarce these opportunities can come. I don't know when I'm going to have another opportunity to play in a Super Bowl, so I think just enjoying the process and preparing like heck to go play a really good Patriots team.
My favorite part of that sit down with Alex is when he talks about his time in Minnesota and he said, prove it to everybody and prove it to myself. And there was a little bit of him proving it again once this year to everybody that was watching this football team. And I go back to the game that kind of stood out the most to me. It was early on, we were like, oh, this team loves to put tight ends on the field and go underneath the center. And Sam Darnold's really equipped skill set-wise, and him and JSN to be able to throw the ball downfield in a unique way. That 12 personnel, that 1 back, 2 tight end, the under center, play action pass. And I remember talking to him this year, Laura, about what was the biggest part of his game growth-wise in the offseason. He said, when we get shots down the field, I have to hit them. It can't just be a miss. And I think about that Jacksonville game. That was a good competitive game for part of it. And when they took shots down the field, Sam Darnold didn't miss. You saw it with the deep post. Here's that play action pass, the throwback. And it's kind of been the story of this back end of the season for them. The Rams come back, the playoffs. Once again, the Rams win the NFC Championship game. When Sam Darnold now gets a chance to take that shot and really put a dagger in the defense, he hits it. He's not known for his mistakes anymore. He's actually known for the big plays.
Yeah, Dan, I love that you brought that up. For me, it's more about the mentality of Sam Darnold. We all got kids that and Boogie, your young ones will play sports, mine play sports, Dan, your kids, RC as well, everybody. And you think about just the ability to reshape your confidence.
Yeah.
And it's two words that come to mind when I think about Sam Darnold. It's resolve and confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people talk about having confidence when they play sports. But it truly is a superpower when you really do. Because he could have said, you know what, I'm going to be a career backup. I'm a bust. I'm not living up to what I was drafted as. But he kept showing resolve. He kept taking swings every time he got up to bat. And I think that's what this is really about for Sam Darnold. And from a football standpoint, what I'm leading to, why would you change anything in the Super Bowl? Like Sam Darnold, we talked about the run game. Going into that NFC Championship, the run game, and they need to get it going. Clint Kubiak put the football in Sam Darnold's hands. Yep. He said, Sam, you have to go win this game. And he delivered. And I think the resolve and the confidence that he's been playing with since actually leaving Minnesota on to now is the reason why he finds himself in the Super Bowl.
Guys, Sam was the third pick in the NFL draft, so obviously he is physically very talented. I truly believe his greatest talent is resiliency.
The Seahawks strike huddle. Second and goal at the 1.
I remember watching it first off.
I was a Seahawk fan.
At the time, I was one of the Patriot haters.
Wilson, quick throw. And it's still intercepted.
I was surprised that they didn't hand the ball to Marshawn Lynch.
Oh my God! Oh no! Oh no!
You have Marshawn Lynch in the backfield, and you're gonna pass it on the 1.
Hopefully, we can make that same play and get a win in that same way.
That's one of those that you kind of remember where you were when you think about it. Malcolm Butler's shocking game-winning interception, Super Bowl 49. Guys, it was 11 years ago today. RC, when you see that, when you hear Tom Brady scream in the moment of victory, what do you think?
Yeah. The first thing I think of is Richard Sherman's face.
I know.
Like that's the part I think of most. But we had Malcolm Butler on the Pivot recently, and he talked about how many times Bill Belichick drilled that play and told him how to play it and ran him through it. And he wasn't even supposed to be on the field that week in that moment. And to make that play as an undrafted free agent rookie, that sets your career on a different trajectory. What a play, what a moment. And I think it's something we'll all remember as long as we are football fans.
Yeah, and you're going to be reminded of it this week because we're now 1 week away from Super Bowl 60, which features once again the Seahawks and the Patriots. Now, both teams ranked top 4 this season in points per game and opponent points per game. It's the first Super Bowl since the AFL-NFL merger in 1970 that can say that. The Seahawks had the most efficient defense this season. The Patriots had the second most efficient offense. Something's got to give, right? And that's what the numbers say, but there's so much more to this matchup than just that, and really what these teams have looked like offensively and defensively. RC, what are you most excited to get into this week with this matchup?
Well, it's going to be no surprise that I want to talk about these secondaries, and particularly the trio of corners. That mean the outside corners and the slot players. We obviously all know that Nick Emanwari is an emerging star at the nickel position, but Marcus Jones in New England is just as impactful of a player in many different ways, and Christian Gonzalez and Carlton Davis in the way that they've played throughout these playoffs. And then on the other side, absolute genetic freaks in Devin Witherspoon and Reek Woolen. This is going to be a week where the back ends of these defenses has opportunity to make plays and become stars, because stars are made in the playoffs, in the Super Bowls, and in the biggest moments.
Yeah, Q, stand on your lawn, because I'm going to the defensive lines on both sides of this matchup and the way that these guys are able to impact the football game. We talked about Milton Williams and how impactful he's been for this New England Patriots defensive line, but you can't forget Kayvon Chason. You cannot forget Christian Barmore. These guys have been playing out of their mind. They've been showing up time and time again in these matchups that honestly have been defensive battles. The pressure that these defense coordinators bring, the opportunistic pressure. So I look at it from Seattle side, right? We know that this is the dark side, is what they call their defense, but I think it all starts starts up front, not only about who the guys are in Leonard Williams and Byron Murphy and Jaron Reed, but how many guys they can rotate. DeMarcus Lawrence has had a resurgence. It's been as important to what this team has done all season long when it comes to impacting games, affecting quarterbacks, and creating turnovers. So I think these two units are going to take it personal. They are going to want to be the best unit leaving out of this game, bar none, even with it being the Super Bowl. I think there's a little bit of we want to show who we are on the line of scrimmage more than the opposing team. So I'm looking forward to seeing how both of these units perform.
Wait, let me guess. Dan's going to talk about quarterbacks now.
I was going to say I'm bummed. I was going to go with defensive line play as well, Marcus.
He took it from you.
I think coaching and quarterbacks. When coaching and quarterbacks,
stay on
because
your lawn, Dan.
yeah, the Patriot Rams Super Bowl is forever ingrained in my memory. Sean McVay, Bill Belichick, and obviously Vrabel has some tendencies as far as intelligence football-wise with Bill Belichick. And I'm watching this Seattle offense that under Clint Kubiak is really creative and has been an absolute buzzsaw in the playoffs, all the different formations and motions and personnels and actions. It's like, okay, Vrabel, are you going to give us this curveball that Bill threw Sean McVay, to really take advantage? And then I go Drake Maye and this New England offense. Josh McDaniels has been there and done that versus Mike McDonald, who's as smart a defensive mind that we have in football and all the different pieces that they have. And so, like, who's going to win that battle? Who's going to have that new wrinkle, or having us on Monday being like, you know what, they broke this tendency or we didn't see this. And so I'm just going to be fascinated to watch that. Also, just what quarterback can handle the moment. It's a big deal for these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, Drake May's a second-year quarterback. When I look at him, I go, goodness, he looks like he's still a puppy. And for Sam, we don't see this in the NFL. We don't see these early drafted quarterbacks that are busts and then become Super Bowl winners. And so there's a lot of cool storylines.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the critical play in the Super Bowl as well. I think intentionally, the New England Patriots at times have played the game close to the vest, and they believed in themselves late in game that they wouldn't make the mistake or they'd make the play. And we've seen Seattle late in games be able to come back and make critical drives. So I'll be locked in on that as well. Y'all, I'm excited. We got a lot to talk about. We just can't spill it all right now.